Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu.
Good evening, sexy, beautiful humans. I am your host, Victoria Yogini, host of Manifest Your Best Life, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight on episode number 1 of my new show. So I figured since it's the first episode, I should tell you a little bit about myself so that we can get to know each other a little bit better and connect. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a yoga teacher and an entrepreneur. I have my own business. I started my own yoga school called Chakra Flow University, and I love to teach yoga, spirituality, and ways of really living your best life through health and wellness. So everything that I'm going to bring you is just that, how to manifest your best life. And we're going to be able to talk about everything from health to wealth to relationships to your love life to your skincare and your hair, etc. So I'm more than awed, and I feel in this extraordinarily grateful energy that I get to share this all with you on radio. So let me take us all the way back to the beginning of my life. I grew up in New York City, and I am first generation here in the United States. My parents are from Colombia, South America, which is where I was born, and I moved to New York City when I was about 1.5 years old. And I grew up mostly in Queens. If you're from New York, hey, shout out to y'all. And then as an adult, I grew up in Brooklyn. So I don't know about you, but if you're BIPOC like I am, Black, Indigenous, person of color, then you know that life is not always the easiest for us. And it wasn't for me in New York City either. I grew up with parents that were very loving, big family. I had 3 other sisters, so there was 4 of us, and my mom and my dad. Poor dad, he really, he had a rough time with, 5 girls to deal with, so God bless him. And I grew up in a loving family, and I saw my parents working really, really hard. And they usually had anywhere between 2 and 3 jobs. And I had older sisters that really helped to raise me and my little sister. And it was beautiful, and at times it was difficult. And I know that many of you can relate to that. One of the things that I'm talking about a lot during the show is how to manifest your best life, which means that we need to remove a lot of blocks that we have towards our abundance. And as an immigrant and first generation here in the United States, one of those blocks was it was instilled in me that not only did I have to work really hard for everything that I had, but I also had to work harder than everybody else. And so this instilled in me a sense of I wasn't good enough, no matter what I did. My parents were always like, not only do you need to get good grades, but you need to have the best grades because we're immigrants and we're already having to struggle more than your average American person. And it was great in a way because I grew up feeling very empowered to have the sacrifice that my parents made. I grew up empowered to make them proud and to make that what they have done and what they have sacrificed, have it be worth something. And so I did have really good grades. And usually. And I worked really hard, and I went to college, and I got that job on Madison Avenue, and I checked all the boxes of all of the things that I was supposed to do. And it came to the point where I was like, okay, I think I'm living this American dream. I think I'm doing what, my parents sacrificed, their culture, their language, their family. Like, I did it. I'm on Madison Avenue. I'm an art director. I'm a badass. And here I am, making a good living. And so I start a family, right? My biological clock starts ticking, and I'm like, okay, this is the next step, right? This is the next check mark. Check mark is I'm going to start a family. And I did. Well, what I did not know was that my children would change my whole world's perspective. I went from really desiring material wealth material success, because that's what I was told that I was supposed to do by using advertising, graphic design, all of the things that I learned in school. And these children were born. I birthed these children, and they changed me up in a way that is hard to describe, but I'm going to do it because this is radio, so I got to describe it. I can only say that it was a spiritual awakening to have these children. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting at my advertising agency where I was known to, do the best, get the accounts, cutthroat, all the things that you're supposed to be, to thinking to myself, I hope we do not get this account. I do not want to sell this poison to these people. I would not give this away to my worst enemy. And here I am trying to make these things look sexy and convince people that they need it, and they really don't. And what kind of world am I creating for my children? And that was really hard because I had accomplished everything that I set out to do. And in that moment, I felt ungrateful. So I don't know if y'all have ever felt that way, but it was like you're given everything that you want, and now you have it, and you don't want it anymore. It's not the right fit. My soul, my spirit is telling me something is wrong when everything should be great and everything should be celebration. So I do some major soul searching, and I'm a yogi at the time, but it's just a practice. It's just something that I do for my body to make me feel better. It sends me into a place where I feel at home. And I do have a meditation practice. So I would sit late at night after I put my kids to bed, and I would say, God, what am I supposed to do now? I have everything that I've always wanted. And I don't want this anymore. This doesn't feel right. I'm not helping the world. I think I'm creating pain for the world that my children are going to grow up into. And I don't want to do that anymore. So this little voice that I called the God voice says to me, become a yoga teacher. And I'm like, what? No. That can't be it, because I live in New York City and I have 2 kids, and I could not sustain my children being a yoga teacher. So I'm just going to wait for this little voice to say something else, because obviously this is a mistake. And so I would continue to pray and to meditate, and this voice would continue to say, be a yoga teacher. And now I'm like, I think I might be going insane, because that's all I can hear. And now it doesn't just show up when I am meditating. I hear this voice all of the time. I'm like in a meeting at work, or designing something, or doing boards, and I hear this voice going, what are you doing? You need to be a yoga teacher. And I'm like, okay. I'm hearing voices. This isn't good. This is where people start putting you in straitjackets. So I decide I've always been pretty, jump and the net appears. I've just been one of these people that just does the thing. And so I say to myself, okay, I've been doing this advertising thing for 15 years, and I don't think this industry is going to change. So if I want to change my life, then I need to change, and I need to do something pretty drastic. So my yoga school, my yoga studio has a school, so I knew exactly where I would go, and I look it up, and there is a yoga teacher training that starts that summer. And it's a month intensive. And I'm an intense person, so I'm like, I can do this. 30 days to become a yoga teacher. Let's see what this little voice is trying to guide me to. At least let me get this over with and kind of fulfill this moment in time where my head and my spirit and my heart are all leading me to this. Let me just see what this is all about. So I take my paid vacation, and I ask for sabbatical for the rest of the time. And I leave my job for a full month, and I go and take this teacher training. And it blows me wide open. I learned things about myself, things that were hidden inside of myself, things that I didn't want anybody to see, my soul, my energy. I learned so much about my body. For the first time, I felt like I was in my body, like truly living inside my body. Like every cell was telling me, like, yes, you are alive. And it was spectacular. And I knew when I finished that yoga program that I was not going to go back to Madison Avenue. Now, I didn't know how I was going to do that. And that's part of what I'm going to teach you, is releasing yourself from the tyranny of the how. And I just said to myself, I'm leaving. That's it. I'm doing it. I cashed out my 401k, right, which I've been saving since the beginning of, I think I started working when I was 14 years old, 13 years old, babysitting. And whenever it was that I actually got like a legit job and started doing my 401k, since then I was doing my 401k. I cashed the whole thing out. Yes, 30% went to taxes. That did happen. But I trusted that this inner voice, that my soul speaking to me, was more important than that the accumulation of those dollars and whatever that meant. Like, I needed to live my life now. I'm not going to wait till I retire. I'm not going to wait until I'm 65 to enjoy this. No, I need to do something with my life right now. So I cash it out and I live off of that 401k for the next 2 years until I establish myself as a yoga teacher. I become a personal trainer as well, and I'm working all over New York City, here, there, and everywhere, teaching yoga, and still working really hard. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy. I'm helping people. I feel good about myself at the end of the day. I don't feel like I'm robbing the world, and my soul and my spirit doesn't feel like it's literally being drained out of my body. I feel connected to my spirit. I feel connected to the people that I'm supporting in their health and their wellness journey. I feel good about the mother that I am and the world that I'm helping to create for my children. And I feel really tired. Really, really tired because I'm working a lot of hours. I'm working at least teaching 30 hours a week, which if you're a yoga teacher or a teacher or an entrepreneur, you know that the actual hours that you're working might be 30. That means that you're putting in an additional 30 at least, commuting, prepping your classes, getting more training, setting yourself up. And if you ever lived in New York City, commuting is a part-time job. When I commuted about 3 hours a day, sometimes more, depending on how many clients I had to see. So sometimes I'm in Uptown seeing a client, then I'm in downtown Brooklyn seeing a client. And that trip right there is 45 minutes. And then I'm doing that 3, 4, 5 times a day. So it's a long, long day. I get an opportunity to come to Charlotte, North Carolina. Somebody wants me to come teach yoga here. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess I'm kind of making it. People are asking me to come and travel to come teach yoga. I come here middle of March in New York City. If you've ever been to New York City in the middle of March, winter has gone on now for about 1,000 years. And it's cold, and it's still cold, and it's going to be cold tomorrow. And I get to Charlotte, North Carolina in the middle of March, and it's 85 degrees. The sun is shining. I walk off of the airport, out of the airport, and I'm not even joking. There is a rainbow to greet me. And then little butterflies like literally pass by my face. And I'm like, where am I? This is like Wonderland or something. A friend of mine that wants me to stay here obviously takes me all around town, shows me all the great places in Charlotte, and then drives me up to this cute little house in Plaza Midwood and goes, you know, this house right here is for rent. And guess how much it is? $1,600 for 3 bedrooms, beautiful backyard, full kitchen. My kids get to have their own space, a master bedroom with a garden bathroom. That does not happen in New York City, okay? I'm paying double that for a tiny little apartment in Brooklyn where I still have to commute 3,000 hours to get to Manhattan. I got to walk up and down the stairs or take this nasty little elevator with my kids. And here I am in this beautiful place for half of the money. So I'm like, okay, all right, God, you're talking to me again. This is an opportunity. You're telling me that I've desired to give my children a better life. This feels like a better life. I'm listening. I'm tuning in, which I'm going to teach you all about how to listen with your body. And I was listening with my body because my body felt amazing here. It felt so good. Sun shining on my face, the breeze, all of it. So again, I'm that person. I take the leap. I don't think about it too much. I just go, this feels right. And so 6 months later, I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm still working 30 hours a day because I don't know what else to do. This is what I've been taught. I've been taught to work really hard, and that the harder that I work, the more successful that I am. And I'm going to bust all of these myths open during our time together. So keep tuning in, because every week I'm going to give you the tools and the tricks and the techniques to manifest your best life. So I'm still working really hard these 30 hours, and there's a part of me that's like, I've made it because I have a full schedule and I'm working all the time. And then there's a part of me, like my soul, my spirit, that knows, like, it's not supposed to be like this, girl. Like, you're supposed to be enjoying your life. Life is about pleasure. Life is about being able to have more time with your children. And at the end of the day, even when I just think about like materially and like the money that was coming in, I remember one day I came in from work. I was tired. I put the kids to bed, and I was just sitting on my toilet. We're about to take a shower, and I'm crying. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm working this hard, and I still don't have enough money to put Lily, that's one of my daughter, one of my kids, I still don't have enough money to put her in ballet, And I can't work more hours. Like, there's just no more time. I'm not willing to give up any more time with my children. So what am I supposed to do now? And these are like these conversations again that I have with my spirit and with my soul. And, this voice inside says to me, like, you're not meant to keep working for people. That's not what you're meant to do. And I'm thinking, what? I can't start my own business. That sounds crazy. I don't know how to do it. I'm not a business person. My parents didn't have their own business. They always worked for other people. That sounds scary. I don't want to hear it. I kind of closed that voice off. And it takes me about another year and a half of doing the 30 hours, working the really long hours, commuting, not spending as much time with my children and my family as I want to, my partnership with their father falling apart. It takes all of that for me to realize, no, actually, what I really need to do is to start my own yoga school. There really is nobody here that is teaching yoga in its profound nature, in its fullness, in its holistic nature, which are the 8 limbs, which I'll get into more on other days that we're here together. There really isn't somebody doing that here. Yoga is very physical, which it is, and I love the physicality of it, but it's deeper than that. And I'm meant to be the one that brings that to Charlotte. I'm the one that's going to bring the spirituality and the wholeness of yoga. And I have to do it through a school because I'm only one person. So I thought to myself, my classes are going really great and my students really are enjoying and growing from my classes. But I'm only one person, and there's only so much that I can do. There's only so much that I can shift the world. But if I create a school and teach teachers to do what I'm doing, then I'm creating an army of spiritual leaders that are going out into our BIPOC communities and sharing these gifts and sharing these tools to make this manifesting your best life accessible to everybody, or to at least more people. And so I decide that this is my next step, to start a school. And so I do. And here we are. A few years later, I started in 2018. What year is it now? 2023. And I've graduated over 120 students now from my school. And they have gone out to their communities to spread the yoga teachings, the physicality, the health, the wellness. They're feeling good in their bodies. And the ripple effects of this are just going out, further and further out into the world, which makes me really excited because the world needs to change. We all know that. We need to care about ourselves and the planet in a way that we haven't had to do in the past. We're kind of at this place where we're at a breaking point if we're not changing, and we're continuing down a slippery slope of things can get really unpleasant for us. And so being a leader in the BIPOC community, I really feel called, especially at this time, to empower my community, empower my people with this information that has been hidden and taken away from us for so long. It's time for us to take our power back. It's time for our voices to be heard. And the biggest tools that we have are our voice and our health and wellness. If we feel good in our bodies, and we can do anything. And so I'm excited to have this show and to be able to share with you on how to manifest your best life, to give you the tools, to give you the techniques, to give you the skills, to give you the mindset, but also what are you doing with your body? Because what you're doing with your body, even how you're sitting right now, right? And I know you just sat up a little bit taller when I said that. How you're sitting right now in your seat, where you're putting your eyes, what you're putting in your ears, what you're putting in your mouth, all of that matters, because everything that you are putting into your body, you're digesting, whether it's food, the music you're listening to, the radio, the TV, the water, all of that is being digested by every single cell in your body. And you become that. You become everything that you digest. And so we're going to talk all about that so that you can have awareness about what you're putting in your body, what you're putting in your mind, so that it is in alignment with that life that you want to live. Because you cannot expect limos and rainbows and Lamborghinis and be putting Doritos and hot Takis into your body, because they don't resonate at the same frequency. And so we're going to talk about all of that. And I'm excited. So thank you for listening to my story. I can't wait to hear your story. I can't wait to connect with you in a deeper way. Y'all are so important to me. This is the reason that I'm doing it. All you, my kids, my family, it's all the same. We're all one. So write to me. You can find me on Instagram at victoria.yogini. Let me know what's on your heart. Let me know what's on your mind. What are your dreams? What do you want to accomplish in this world? What are the things that light you up? What are the things that turn you on? I want to know all of these things because I want to make this show accessible, and I want to make this show meaningful to all of you. So communicate with me because that's one of the things that's been taken away from us, our voice and our ability to communicate with each other. They've separated us into houses and developments, and they've given us all these reasons to make us feel like we're so different from each other. And I want to tear those walls down and really bring you the content that you need to manifest your best life. So I cannot wait to see you here every Sunday night. I'm going to continue to remind you how beautiful and sexy and amazing that you are. So keep tuning in, and I will see you next week.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.